What's going on, guys? Matt over here, Lethal Garage, and I'm actually at the Bowtie Britches Garage because I asked for a little bit of help, and obviously it's like one of the hottest, actually it's the second to the hottest day currently in Temecula for heat wave evilness. I think it was 107 today. Tomorrow's like gonna be 113 to 120. It's gonna suck. But today we're gonna be replacing my rear axles with my stock axles because there's a long story here. I'm gonna try to sum it up as fast as possible and why. As some of you guys know, I put the drive shaft shop rear axles in. I didn't do an install guide at the time because I wasn't there when they were installed, but now I can do an install guide of how to replace your axles, but in this instance, we're taking the drive shaft shop out and putting the stock ones back in. Now the question is why? So if some of you guys know, broke my drive shaft long ago. And in doing that, we had a couple gremlins hanging out in the car that we never really identified or figured out what it was. And we would drive around town, we'd hear a pop noise every now and then. And what we think was what happened is when the drive shaft broke, one of the bearings, basically on the passenger side of the vehicle, where the drive shaft is, may have gotten messed up and it's causing some issues and the shaft in there is really loose. So we're basically pulling them, sending them to drive shaft shop for due diligence check. We're sending them in, having them check them out, see if there's anything wrong with them. We don't know if there is or not. We're gonna pull them out. Maybe some splines are bent. Maybe we'll see a better picture, understand what may or may not have happened, or if anything has happened at all. But long story short, it's gonna allow us to show you how to replace axles. So let's go ahead and do it. So before we start today, let's just take a second and admire this 1968 Camaro 1LE. Wait a minute. Step one, jack up your vehicle. And I don't mean like kicking and punching it. I mean like lift it off the ground. Step two, take your wheels off so you can get the nut that pulls your axle out. Well, that holds it in really. Yeah.
That nut is 36 millimeter.
That's a big nut. Snap-on tools, everybody.
Get your nuts off.
8 millimeter Allen to pull off. I think there's 7 bolts on there, 6 bolts?
Six.
I was guessing. But these are the DSS. I think the stock ones have 6 too.
The stock ones have 6 as well.
Just making sure, I don't know. I've never done this before. I'm learning. Remove the bolts.
They might be a little warm. I feel like everything right now is kind of warm. Thunder clunking noise.
Trying to pull the axle, didn't want to just drop out like sometimes it will, so we are loosening the upper part of the suspension to get enough wiggle room to get the doohickey out of the, what, how did you say it?
Is the doohickey with the thingy?
There you go, perfect. Okay, so it didn't want to come out as easy as last time because Mike just completely forgot that when he did this before, the exhaust was removed. So removing your exhaust comes in handy. We pulled the muffler and we were able to bend this pipe down just enough to pull the axle right on out. It's sitting behind me. I'll show you. I'll show you. Axle, right. Ah. So this is actually the axle we think is causing problems or caused problems. The splines, whoa, camera's all jacked up, sorry. The splines actually look okay on it, so that's good. Here's the stock GM one. So, we don't know. So this is why we think something's wrong. See this CV? That moves a lot. GM one? No, not so much. So, oh, now it's broken. But yeah, we're gonna send this one in, see if we can have it checked out. We definitely think something's wrong. My guess is something happened when the drive shaft broke. Mike thinks maybe it could have been a wheel hop thing. We don't know for sure, but it started making the noise right after the drive shaft broke. So that was when we started having problems. So that's what I'm gonna chalk it up to, is an extended issue down the line from the drive shaft snapping. So yeah, let's remove the other side and get these old new ones back in. It's dark, I know, but this is why we hate the Stainless Works exhaust. It's really hard to take off. if you have the GM closed rear diffuser.
Yes.
I need light. I'll be back. So you can see the axle slides right on out. Bloop. So exhaust removal, key. Axles come out quicker, easier, stronger, better. Done. Both DSX axles out. Again, we're going to send them both in to have them checked out. Worst case scenario, nothing's wrong. Or I guess that's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, something's wrong, they fix it, they RMA it, and send us new ones. Yeah. So in the new setup, we are putting Loctite on the bolts. Make sure they don't vibrate out when you're racing, because that will happen. It is key. The GM uses some green goop stuff, but we're putting red Loctite on, because, you know, it's red and locky. So, sticking in the axle, you can see the splines, everything. Gotta get those lined up, slid in. And once it's slid in,
You gotta go on the right side of the parking brake.
yes.
That usually helps. There you go. Now comes the fun button.
Sliding it in.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
So get the bolts in, get it all lined up. You mean with a flashlight?
Let's just get into it. This one more time. She liked it. There you go.
Well, there you have it. Axles installed, good to go. Sending these off to DSS. We know one definitely potentially has problems. The other one, we're just having it checked for the heck of it, because if one went bad, might as well have the other one looked at. Better be safe than sorry. It would really be crappy if you go out to a track day and on your first run it snaps. Not bueno. I don't think they broke. I think there's something with the bearings. Again, I think this was an issue carried over from the drive shaft brake. Again, as I told you, we heard the popping noise in the axles right after we put the new drive shaft in. We weren't driving the car hard. I think it was literally just a legacy problem that happened when the drive shaft broke. But yeah, install with the right tools and the exhaust off goes pretty crazy fast. Yeah, I got dirty today. Yay, camera guy got dirty. Huge shout out to Bowtie Britches for the help this evening. Thank you, sir. Getting me ready for Camaro Fest 8. And if you guys aren't already following him and his beautiful 68, check him out on Instagram, Bowtie Britches. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Likes, comments, shares, appreciated. Subscribes. If you want more content and awesomeness, I'll follow up with what DSS says and talk about what may or may not have happened, if anything happened at all. But until next time, I do hope to see you on the road.